What's up, guys? Nick Rapazzi here. Welcome to the NR Motorsports YouTube channel. Today we're going to be finishing up part 2 of deleting the truck. Yesterday we did the 5-inch exhaust. Today we're doing the EGR cooler delete. It's pretty straightforward. There's 3 plates that you have to get on. This is for the exhaust side coming off the turbo manifold, intake side to plug up the intake hole, and then the coolant pass-through plate for the EGR delete. And then hose for the coolant crossover that you're going to delete out of the EGR cooler itself. And it's got another barb fitting right there that we're going to use for connecting 2 more coolant hoses. Comes with the clamps, everything that you need on here. Should be a super simple install. From what I was reading and looking up, it takes probably 90 minutes to 2 hours to pull the EGR cooler. So I'll take notes through it. I'm going to time lapse most of it, and I'll show you guys the pointers as we go along. But it's 7 bolts, I want to say 3 or 4 clips, and about 4 coolant hoses. So let's get the couple tools that we need, get the socket set out, and let's get to it. All right, guys, so first thing on here, we're going to be getting the intake box out of the way, just because there's a couple things that we need to get to, and then we'll work on these 2 crossover exhaust pipes here, get those out of the way, and then start with the coolant lines here, get all this stuff. I did take the radiator caps off. They are loose, just to make sure that there's no pressure in here. And yeah, that's where we're going to start, so let's get to it. Alright, guys, completely unbolted and out. The hardest bolt to get to was the one that's right down in here in the back of the thing, the EGR cooler. It's right under where the ECU is, and it was just such a bitch to get to. I had to do it by hand with a couple different kinds of tools and try different things out. But this thing's ready to pull out, so let's pull this thing out and get this thing on the ground so we can start putting this thing back together. Let's see if I can do this without falling over. Oh, we're still connected somewhere. This. Oh. Where are you still connected? Everything looks good to go. We'll get this cleaned up a little bit and then get this ready to go back together. All right, guys, so we're gonna get the first plate on for the exhaust plate right there. I left the OEM gasket in there. I'm gonna reuse the hardware bolts because I couldn't find any new bolts with the kit. And we're gonna put the pyro meter right in here. This one that you saw me take off. Put that inside there, get this bolted down, and then we'll get the plate up there, and then the EGR coolant bypass package 1 right here, we'll get that on too. So let's get those on, and then we'll do the coolant lines and finish this thing up. All right, guys, so we had a slight delay with this because the threads that were on this plate weren't correct, so I ended up cutting off the OEM nipple that it screws into, lining it up with the hole, and then just welding it to the plate itself. So I'm just letting this cool off before I handle it. We're gonna put the the pyro probe inside of that, get that thing locked down, and then we'll bolt this thing back up with the OEM bolts and then finish up the rest of this stuff. So hopefully we'll get this done in the next like 25-30 minutes or so. And then I have a couple more extra parts that I have and the coolant stuff to get done on this. So let's get to it. All right guys, the camera battery died on me when I was trying to do the time lapse on this, but we have the coolant hose hooked up. We have the front coolant hose that deletes the EGR hose. This one was a bitch to get to. I had to take off the headlight and the grill. I didn't take the grill completely off. I just unbolted the top, pulled it back, pulled the headlight out, and I was able to access the clamp that's right back in there. And what I did is I grabbed vice grips, held onto the clamp, left the clamp in place, pulled the hose, placed this hose in, and then used the OEM clamp on there just to keep everything nice and tidy. Same thing up here, OEM clamp, which is going to be perfectly fine. And the only thing we have left to do is I'm gonna have to go run and get some coolant, because we did probably leak out probably a good gallon out of here, and then just hook up the intake. So let me get this intake back on, and then again, I'm not sure if this thing is going to throw some crazy ass codes, not seeing the EGR at all, but I'm going to fire it up. We will get the tunes tomorrow from Proven Diesel, so hopefully we can get this thing started up and just check for leaks, see if there's anything going on with this. But super happy that this was a super easy install. Let me just get this intake back in, and I'll show you guys everything that's under here. All right guys, airbox is in, everything looks buttoned up. I looked over everything, I don't notice any leaks or anything like that. I'm gonna go fire this thing up, see if it starts, and we'll check to see if anything fucking blows up on this thing. Oh, no key. In my pocket. Other truck key. Tools. What the hell? Oh, I know where the key is. Bam. Your boy Donald Trump, my guy. Hopefully he runs again, fix this damn country already. All right, let's see. This thing's gonna throw some crazy codes and freak out that there's no EGR. Well, immediately has a check engine light, but let it idle up a little bit. It is low on coolant, so I'm not gonna let it stay here for too long, but we'll see if anything leaks and come back in a couple minutes. All right guys, before we wrap up this video, I just want to give you guys an exhaust clip, because I noticed when I was just letting it idle, now that the EGR is deleted, it sounds totally different than it did yesterday. Granted, it's still got reduced engine power, and when you hit the pedal on this thing, it just kind of falls on its face after like 2,500 RPMs. But we'll get that fixed with the tune tomorrow. But I just want you guys to hear what it sounds like untuned, 5-inch exhaust, EGR delete, and DEF delete. So let me fire this thing up and let you guys hear it. But that's it right there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I got a bunch of other stuff that I still need to do, just waiting on parts and the tunes for tomorrow. So once we get the tunes in, I'll show you guys how we do that with the Easy Link from Proven Diesel. And yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you got any questions at all, drop in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, later dudes. Peace.